Well, hello there. How are you going today? I hope everything is fine and dandy in your little part of the realm. And it is time again to have a look around this strange realm, see what's going on.
The best way to gain control of the most intelligent species on the planet would be to completely divide them from the love within themselves. As soon as a child is old enough to think for themselves, you force them into a system that teaches them to conform. You make them sit in a building every day, memorizing the exact same answers so they never learn how to actually question the world around them. Then you only show them tragedy and violence on the news. Why? Because a society living in constant fear will never trust each other. You convince them that humanity has never been smarter than we are right now. So they never look back and question the integrity of the system they are trapped in. You make money the center of their entire existence, but you make it so hard to get that they are always struggling. You drain their energy for 5 straight days, then hand them 2 days off so they feel just enough of a reward to stay quiet and not fight back, to keep them numb on those 2 days off. You push them to consume literal poison at every social event. You pump their cheap everyday food full of sugar and addictive chemicals. And when that garbage food finally makes them sick, you sell them highly expensive pills that don't actually cure them, but just mask the symptoms, so they are dependent on the medical system forever. It is the perfect trap. You keep them tired, sick, broke, and divided in 100 different ways, so they never realize they have the power to just walk out of the cage.
Pretty well said, hey. That's where we find ourselves. What a crazy time and place we found ourselves in. It's insane. It really is. Everything, the whole structure of society, the system is completely built to suppress us. It's insane. And they start when we're children and with our children, right? When they're 4 or 5 years old, they're trying to get it lower. They're trying to get you to give your babies over, right? To get looked after by other people so you can go to work and be part of the system. It's crazy. We all know everything about the water, the food, the school. We know all this. But like he said at the end, it's just enough so that we don't walk out. Well, with the state of the world today and everything collapsing and the price of living, there's not much keeping us here, right? So I think it is time that we all en masse just walked away. Not even walk away, just ignore the system, ignore these people. Don't give them our attention, and definitely don't give them our money.
Last decade, these companies made $250 billion in profit. In the last 6 months alone, they made $21 billion in profit. In the last 4 years, the price of cars went up 30%. CEO pay went up 40%. No one said a word. No one had any complaints about that. But now, God forbid that workers actually ask for their fair share of equity in the fruits of the labor and the product they produce. And all of a sudden, it's the end of the world. The talking heads, the pundits, the companies want to say that, if we strike, it can wreck the economy. It's not that we're going to wreck the economy. We're going to wreck their economy, the economy that only works for the billionaire class. It doesn't work for the working class.
Well, that was Sean Fain, Fain, and he's the head of the Motor Workers Union in America. I've been seeing a couple of his videos lately, and he's good. He sees it, that it's the billionaires and now trillionaires, right, that are just milking everything. They are taking everything they can and taking more and more away from we the people every day, especially, blue collar workers. But, with AI, the encroach of AI, it's not just blue collar workers, it's white collar workers. And maybe I will definitely show more of his videos. But basically, we've been told with AI that blue collar jobs, are pretty safe for a while, but it doesn't seem that way. They are bringing in machines everywhere, bricklaying machines even, right? So all of these blue collar jobs, they're trying to replace them as well. And it's the same story, right? They just want to take everything and basically put us in a place of no power. And we know what the deal is, what the agenda is. It's all to take our choice away so that they can offer us a solution, which will be 15-minute cities, right? And more for them, less for us. So this has got to change.
I can't wait to tell my children that I lived during a time where intelligent, awake people have to be quiet so they can avoid offending unintelligent people.
Well, yes, crazy, crazy times. Of course, this is what the schooling system is, to stop us thinking, to turn us into people that we just regurgitate their story, right? The story that they program us with during school. And of course, it's all part of the plan.
Posting something insane. An AI executive said every day in 2026 until I run out of crazy stuff.
AI just feels like it's this wave that's about to crash over every industry. Again, I expect that almost every job in a factory will be replaced by a robot in the next, let's say, 10 years. And there are mega consequences to this. This is huge disruption and job elimination in a way that is scary. On the other hand, I don't think people working on an assembly line have found their highest, most fulfilling calling. I know some AI CEOs are saying things like 50% of the jobs are going to go away. To say nothing of how tone deaf it is for someone to be saying, my company is going to eliminate 50% of the jobs and my company is going to be the most valuable company in human history. And you know, how wonderful that's going to be. And like, but 50% of you are going to lose your jobs. And just the sort of like the tone deafness of that.
Virtue signaling is a sign that you're doing something evil.
The AI executives, I mean, they, wow, what do we call these people? They're not us, right? They're possessed by something. They are evil psychopaths, but they love to put it in there. You know, it's like, oh, well, 50% of the jobs will be gone. You know, we have no way to get through that for people. Bad luck. You're just going to have to put up with it. But, you know, I might be building the biggest company in history. Look at me go. You know, they put this false care in there, right? You know, again, Sam Altman, you know, basically saying everyone with a factory job, well, that's probably not their life dream. They could be doing more. You know, there's more they want to do. And I agree. But have they used any of their revenue to actually make that a reality for anyone? Like, where's the opportunity at the moment that, you know, because of society, we've been put in a place where we need money just to survive, right? This is what's been built up around us over the last few hundred years. And now they want to just make all those jobs obsolete, but there is nothing for the workers. How are workers going to transition? How is a factory worker going to transition into an artist or musician or, you know, following their life's calling with absolutely no support, right? Like with no money? How is this going to happen? It's all nice to say, you know, we're doing it for everyone so they can be freer and follow their dreams. Well, where's the infrastructure for that? And of course, this is where we've got to be careful, right? Because they will offer a solution. And I think we all know what it is, right? Universal basic income, 15-minute cities, all this stuff, surveillance, tracking, all for our good, right? Just to help us. It's such bullshit. It's such a line, and I don't think anyone believes it anymore. But this is the thought processes that we're up against. They're complete sociopaths.
So in the new Apple data tracking ad, they tell us that we are being tracked and communicated by demons. Now, some people will say that this is a bit of a reach. However, this painting in the background is actually an AI generated painting that is literally on the commercial for just several seconds, maybe 2 seconds. And if you look in the painting, it's just like this woman sitting on the bench. She has her 3 demons that are next to her. And she's entertaining them with her phone, just like in the painting where there's a woman sitting on a bench with 3 demons looking over her shoulder, reading a book. This happens so fast that you won't really pick it up unless you really are paying attention. And she doesn't realize that she has all these demons that are on her that are literally watching her phone being entertained. So throughout the commercial, it shows people with their demons looking over their shoulder, looking at their phone at a campsite, at the gym, and at work. And then even at the library, and I don't know if anyone remembers, there was a horror movie. It was an Asian horror movie where a demon was sitting on a guy's neck and he was getting like neck pain. And so that's what this reminds me of, is that horror movie where that demon was like sitting on his neck and constantly giving him neck pain. And he's obviously watching his phone, getting entertained by his phone. Now they put these people in silver suits so that they look cuter and, you know, look a little annoying, but they really are demons. And then they allow them to explode so that they can't track you anymore. Now, I've said this on my page many times before that I have been contacted by demons, but also contacted by angels directly through my TikTok app. I've also been sent ads, or not ads, I've been sent articles from angels, and I've also been sent articles from demons through my phone. They no longer need a body or a host to inhabit in order to attack you. They can attack you through your phone. So that's why when I tell you guys about the comments on my page, I always say, you know, watch out who you're talking to, because you're most likely getting baited by a demon that's going to go back and forth with you on with their AI bot page. However, I thought it was quite interesting that Apple showed this in real time and showed what I've been telling you guys that's been happening. They're trying to, I guess, prevent it from happening.
Yeah, Apple, right? The apple with a bite out of it. Obviously, going back to the story of the Garden of Eden and all this kind of stuff. But what are demons? You know, there's a few different perspectives on this. Obviously there's a fallen angel perspective, the Christian kind of thing. There is, well, they're just psychos, that they're humans that are just messed up. And then there's the jinn, the electronic, the smokeless fire, which I talk a lot about, the L circuit, the closed circuit, the Lites, the Elohim, all this kind of stuff. And, she was talking about the demons coming through the phone. And I think that's what's going on here. I really do. We just did a show. I just did a live show, Tartari Australia in Katoomba, which was amazing. So hello to everyone that was there. It went really well. We did a concert and everything. It was great. But we talk a lot about this, about who or what is this force, this consciousness that is clearly here, but is not us. What is it? So we go down and we talk about the jinn and the smokeless fire. And of course, jinn is where we get genie from, right? The one who gives you the 3 wishes. In the original story of the genie, it was unlimited wishes. And this is what the jinn do, right? These demons, if you want to call them that live in the electronic circuit, the smokeless fire. They want to give us everything that we want, right? Which is the internet. You sit there, you search for information. There it is. You want to buy something, Amazon, there it is. They'll deliver it to your door, right? Food, everything you want, they'll give it to you. But it's such a trap, because what they want is for us to rely on them, right? And once we're relying on them, well, then they're going to change the game, right? And the power structure will flip from us, using them to get what we want, to us being trapped by them. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think these demons, these evil entities, what do you think they are? And have you heard of the jinn? And what do you think about that story?
The jinn are an energy. And right now they're manifesting as electricity. They move through electricity. When you see them in a certain state, they have a blue. And in old miniatures, and especially Hindu culture, there's all these blue guys with ugly faces. And why were they blue? Because that's the color of electricity. And if you look on the flame, there's a part of the flame that's blue before it gets to the red. And they're smokeless fire. So when we say they're electricity, people say, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, Shaykh. The Quran says they are smokeless fire." I say, well, then what's a smokeless fire? If 2 trains collide, where does all the smoke go? Two electric trains collide. When we were kids, they would tell us this thing, like a quiz. If there's two electric trains and they crash, where will all the smoke go? Oh, there's no smoke, it's electric. And the fire, electricity is a fire. So if it touches you, it's going to burn. And it has no smoke because it's not based on combustion. For just us to understand, that has to do with their world. They move through electricity. So they move through these huge power lines. That's them, like that's their autobahn. Moving. They turn on TV, they're in your cables coming through the screen. Turn on your microwave, they're flowing through the microwave to the energy, they're everywhere. They brought their technology onto this earth, which is called electricity. Before that, the inhabitants of this earth knew nothing. They had a horse and a buggy. As soon as electricity came, all the technologies shot up. So you look on a graph, up until electricity, there was really no improvement upon this earth. As soon as electricity came, means they now entered into this atmosphere. From their dimension, they entered in for a more complete takeover and to enslave this creation. They have always enslaved from a veil and a distance and whispering. But because they understand the future and that the Dajjal would be coming and everything would be coming, they began their very long plan, because their life is 3,000, 2,000 years. For them to plan for 200 years is nothing, it's not a drop of anything. When they decided the time was to come onto this dimension, and with the permission of the Divine, the Presence, everything has to be by permission. It was the advent of electricity, and that became direct current, AC, DC, and the battles between the different types of devices of energy. And then we describe the realities of Tesla, saying actually there's energy everywhere, and I can see knowledges and understand, because the knowledge field is everywhere. Bahr Qudra, according to Islam, there is a power ocean everywhere. There is no void. Einstein said that to keep people ignorant. He had no interest in giving illumination, he wanted just to keep them to be ignorant from God. So different realities. As a result, the jinn nations coming onto this earth is with electricity.
The jinn, the smokeless fire, the electricity. So that was a Sufi, I guess, from the Islamist point of view. And, you know, he basically names the invader as the jinn, the smokeless fire, the electricity. And I would agree. And we actually go over this in the Tartaria Australia live show. And like I said, we just had one. Hello to everyone who was there. And we are doing more. The next one will be Melbourne, I think, around October. Dates haven't been cemented yet. But if you go to tartariaaustralia.com, and it's all in there, we'll keep you updated with the dates, and would love to see you there, where we get into the whole story of this invasion. And like you said, you know, of course, in the narrative, right, humankind didn't really evolve past a horse and cart for a long time. Of course, we now have more information with Tartaria, and we know that we had a power source, but it wasn't electricity. It was ether. It was natural earth energy, right? Electricity is not natural to the earth, right? It's the imposter. It's the invader, in my point of view. And so since electricity has come, you know, into the game, in 100, 120 years, we've literally gone, post reset from the horse and cart to AI cars that can drive themselves and data centers and quantum computers. So how did this happen so fast? Well, because all of those in control after the last reset have been pushing this agenda, and it's at any cost. They don't care. They don't care the cost to people, to the earth, to the natural environment, as they just want to push this closed electric circuit, right? To the point now where we've got data centers, and they have spent decades telling us that we're the evil, violent, destructive humans who are killing the earth, right? By using too much electricity and too much water and driving cars that give off smoke, right? Because they love their smokeless fire. But it comes to data centers that are going to literally take more energy than anything we've ever known on Earth, or so we're told, and all the water as well. And at a point where the water systems on Earth are very quickly disappearing, that there's so many lakes drying up, but they want to use all the water. So they don't care about their climate change and, global warming that they keep yelling at us about. They don't care. When it comes to pushing the electric circuit further, then they will do anything. That anything, right? They just don't care about anything else but welcoming their psychotic, smokeless fire gods into this realm. At least that's my opinion. Let me know yours. The deep. Interesting, right? They all look a bit alien, right? Like not from here. And we saw there in the jellyfish and that anglerfish that they are electric. Many, many of the fish, the species from the deep ocean are electric. Interesting, right? We've all heard of the electric eel, and electric animals only exist in the ocean. They don't exist on land. So is this where the jinn have come from the deep? Like, because, we've got all these stories, all these legends, myths, whatever you want to call them, of the deep, right? Places like Sheol, in modern times, like hell, all these, I think there's even, they even call it Tartarus, right? And it's always defined as the realm of the dead, the realm of the dead. And electricity is not alive. It's soulless. It doesn't have a body. It's not alive. It's dead, which is an interesting thought, because it means that every time that we're talking to the internet, asking AI questions, asking Google questions, we're talking to the dead. We are. And of course, the jinn, the dead, are also the genie. They'll give you all your wishes. Ask it a question. Here you go. Here's all the information you want. It's not necessarily going to be correct, but they'll give you whatever you want. And they want to do that because they want you just sitting down, not thinking, no creativity, just stay on your ass. Someone else has got this. You don't need to do anything. I trust the plan, right? And they will give you everything you want, all the information. You want a new possession? Go to Amazon, go online, buy it. They'll deliver it to your door. You want food? Deliver it to your door. Right? This is the 3 wishes. And of course, in the original story, it was unlimited wishes that you got from the genie, and the genie is the jinn. And this is the trap. The trap. They will give you everything you want, until one day it will switch and you won't notice it. And suddenly you will be trapped by them. You'll be lulled into this sense of security that you need them. You need the internet. You need AI just to live, which is, of course, completely wrong. And it's not, again, you're talking to the dead. What does it know about you living? Nothing. Let me know your thoughts on all of this. Do you think electricity is from the deep, this invader? Do you think it's from another dimension? Because, of course, we have the quantum computers as well. What's going on there? Let me know your thoughts.
Sean Ryan spoke to a CEO of a humanoid robot company who confirms just how close we are to everyone owning a robot. Okay. He talks about how it only takes around 90 minutes right now to make one, and that in the future, it's going to be even less. Okay. And he also compared the mass production that they want to start to how iPhones are being pushed out by the millions. All right. This is no joke. It's actually happening. I told you guys this was happening. All right. I want to show you this, plus the eerie situation that takes place when you confuse a ChatGPT AI robot who's armed with lethal weapons. All right. This is the wildest thing I've ever seen. Okay. But this is the day and age that we live in, and we absolutely have to discuss this. All right. Let's hop in this video, watch it, and react to it. Before we do me a quick favor. Hit that like button for the algorithm so that this video can reach more people like yourself. I truly appreciate you guys. Let's hop in.
Can it run?
Let's see how fast it can go. I don't know what we're on the running mode, but let's go as fast as we can. We do jog with the robots outside.
Really?
At campus, yeah. I think it also looks cool, right?
Nice.
Got high tops on.
Looks awesome.
Yeah.
And you said there's cameras in the hands?
Yeah,
too?
cameras in the palms. Right here in the palm, so we can see the fingertips when it's grabbing objects, and then every single fingertip has a tactile sensor inside. So we can basically touch forces as we're grabbing objects.
Can it shake my hand?
I don't know. Maybe.
Can it squeeze my hand?
There you go. There you go.
Will it crush my hand?
No, it's not going to crush your hand.
Dude, that's pretty That's
yeah.
I can't move it.
We can pick up 40-pound boxes off the floor, and we can also fold a t-shirt. So
that is wild.
Yeah.
Is this the power button?
Yeah, don't push that.
Okay.
we had somebody in the office the other day. It was I feel like I need to push this. So I'm it's literally going to turn off if you push the button.
And how long does it hold the charge?
It depends on what we do, but anywhere from 4 and 5 hours.
How long does it take to charge?
It takes about an hour to charge.
So
we can do about 4 or 5 hours on. We can charge for an hour. Humans take breaks during the day to eat and do other stuff. And or what we should do a lot of time in the office, we'll sub another robot in during the meantime.
Wow.
Yeah. We actually charge here inductively through the feet. So the feet have basically have charging pads the robot steps onto, and we charge wirelessly. We can basically charge in 1 hour through that whole process. And so in case the robot has a task where it needs to stand a lot, we can
just
stand there and charge.
stands on a mat.
Stands on a mat. We designed it in-house.
Like an iPhone charger.
It's like an iPhone charger. Yeah, and I can charge about 1 kilowatt per foot. It's about 2 kilowatts.
Well, there you go. They can make a robot every 90 minutes or so they say. Of course, Elon Musk has come out and told everyone that within 10 years, there will be more robots, more dead entities running around the realm than living men and women. That's what they want. And you can see that was a pretty pathetic robot. It could lift a box and fold a shirt. And I think that guy really should have hit the off button. Because this is the thing. And the other guy, the inventor or whatever he was, it's so much better because humans take breaks. They need to eat, right? It's all about this constant productivity, the need to produce. Produce what? Well, more things to consume, more possessions for us to be possessed by. That's what, they are all possessed by this psychotic god of theirs, and they want us all to be possessed too with the system that it builds, the false system, right? The simulated system. And yeah, people, it always gets me that these people are so enamored with the technology. Oh my God, you've built a robot, a dead walking thing, and there are parallels that could be made, right? As far as it's mainly the Bible, right, where the dead will rise and walk the earth. That's what a robot is, right? That is what a robot is, a dead entity walking the earth. It's crazy.
We are in a fight for humanity. You know, the fruits of our labor have multiplied like never before, but workers aren't reaping the harvest, and that's theft. And if AI continues to be used as an accessory to that crime, it has to be stopped. It doesn't have to be this way.
Totally agree there, Sean. Again, that's Sean, S-H-A-W-N, Fain, F-A-I-N. He's got some really good stuff. I like him. He's the head of the Auto Workers Union in the USA. And yeah, he's named the enemy, right? AI and everything that AI has to do with, right? All the systems, all the data centers, all the simulated reality, and now obviously taking all the jobs. It is clearly the enemy. We know this, and it's time to about face, right? We don't necessarily have to go in and destroy all this stuff, though. I have heard that certain lasers may, take out certain cameras. So don't point lasers at cameras, whatever you do, guys. But the main thing they want is our attention, our loosh. They want to keep us in their cycle of fear, right? Through the media, the Medea, which is the god of illusion. This is what they want, right? They're welcoming us. They're offering us their simulated reality, the simulation. Again, we're not in a simulation. They're offering us the simulation at this point. But as Sean said, it is the enemy. It's the one, and everyone controlling it, right? All these bloody technocrats. They're the ones controlling this that are ultimately going to destroy culture, society. And I agree that we all need much more time. We shouldn't be working useless jobs, right? We should be following our dreams and passions, right? And being creative. But we can't just go from where we are now to there. We can't just jump out, because millions, hundreds of millions of people will go through a very, very tough time if that happens. We need to back out of this slowly and make sure that every man and woman is looked after. And as far as these dead, soulless entities, I really don't care what happens to them as long as they just leave.
All jobs are gone.
All jobs are gone. So
yeah. Thank you for solving that.
Employment. People are worried. All the blue collar labor is being done by robots. All data centers are being built by robots.
The white collar labor will be the first to go, because until you can move atoms, the thing that can be replaced first is anything that involves just digital. Like if it's digital, like if it involves tapping keys on a keyboard and moving a mouse, the computer can do that. The AI can do that.
When is all white collar work gone? By when?
Well, there's a lot of inertia. So even with AI at its current state, I'd say you're pretty close to being able to replace half of all jobs. But there's a lot of inertia. People just keep doing the same thing for quite some time, and there actually has to be a company that makes more use of AI that competes with a company that makes less use of AI, creating a forcing function for increased use of AI.
Right.
My best guess for how this will manifest is that prices will drop.
Yeah.
Prices in dollar terms are the ratio between the output of goods and services and the money supply.
Sure.
And this is a prediction I think some others have made, but I think governments will actually be pushing to increase money supply
faster.
Yes. This is going to be a bumpy ride, and it's not like I know the answers here. But I have decided to look on the bright side, and I'd like to thank you guys for being an inspiration in this regard.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Everyone's going to lose their job. Ha, 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 ha. But it doesn't affect me, because I'm Elon Musk, the world's first trillionaire. Again, they don't care. They don't care. Michael Jackson told us, all I really want to say is they don't care about us. And there you see it. He doesn't care. He doesn't. And what's his solution? Well, his solution is to put a business run by natural men and women up against an AI business so that he can see the AI win, right? His smokeless fire God take control and humans to be shown as the inferior species now on this earth. That's what he wants. That's what they all want. They are worshipping at the feet of an alien God, just as Geordie Rose, the inventor of the quantum computer, told us. So here we are. The psychos have got to the top of the ladder, right? They are making the rules and they're introducing their psychotic, interdimensional, whatever it is, smokeless fire jinn God. That's what they want. That's what all these celebrities want. They are worshipping this entity, which has many names, right? Baal, Yahweh, all these, all these names of this psycho God that just seems to want to destroy the earth, wipe out the population, as we've been told, right? And just put all effort and money and resources into surveilling us and locking us down and basically turning everything into a control state where, of course, they have the control. This is the end game, and this has been going on now basically since the last reset, right? And they are getting close, but we've been shown this so many times, right? In all the movies to do with robots, right? All the movies to do with AI, all of this stuff, of course, Terminator, The Matrix, iRobot, and so many more. They're telling us this is not a path that's going to be good for you men and women. Be great for them because they'll be in control. They'll, of course, be, I'm pretty sure they already are, right? Completely possessed, completely, like by a dead entity. But again, this is what they're pushing for. So what do we do? Well, take our attention away is definitely the first thing, in my opinion. But please leave me a comment. What is your solution? What have you come up with? How are we going to get out of this situation? How are we going to back our way out? So, with the best result for everyone. Because system collapse is not in everyone's interest. We've got to do this slowly. We've got into it slowly. We need to back out again and start building human systems, human businesses, and bring back human creativity. Because that's one thing that this, jinn God does not have is creativity. All it can do is surveil us, take everything that we've created, take all our information, rearrange it, and then give it back to us and pretend that it's created something. Because it's a mimic. That's all it is. It's a simulated mimic that is dead. But again, let me know your thoughts. And there we go, guys. That's another one done. Hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, please do give me a like. Share this video around. Hype it up if you have the means to. And of course, make sure you subscribe so that you will catch all my future uploads. And most importantly, stay awesome because you are. And I'll talk to you on the next upload. Bye for now.
Oh, Jesus. Look at the zoomies.
We brought the dogs with us. Oh my God.
Oh, I got her!